Hello friends, Sharon for Mad Paper Crush here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm very excited to bring to you my first design team journal for the Graphics Fairy. And before I do a flip through of the journal, I just kind of wanted to give you some background on where the theme came from. So when you have a premium membership to the Graphics Fairy, every Monday you get a themed bundle that has a bunch of different images and printables ready to go for you to use in all of your journals and paper crafting projects. And a couple of weeks ago, this one, the Captains Voyage, is the one that came in. So I thought it was really fun because I was thinking about, a sea captain, but I kind of liked the idea of doing a girl. So I thought it would be fun to kind of dream up the daughter of a sea captain and the diary that she might have kept as she went on trips with her dad out on his merchant ship. So that's kind of where the theme came from. I named her Eliza Patton, that's her name, and I'm going to be using some images from this bundled kit, but also you'll see lots of images from other things. So some of the other ones that I'm using are this Nautical Kit. There's all kinds of sea creatures on here, and Eliza is very interested in sea creatures and things like that. I'm using Lumber. This one I love for the different sea urchins and different things like that. And actually, this image right here, you can see on the cover, and we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. I used some sea green backgrounds, just these papers for some of the journal pages themselves. I thought these were really fun and lended themselves well to sort of a, an ocean or a sea journal. And then I also found this sea spray one that also has a lot of really cool images in it. So I always loved seahorses, and I imagine that Eliza would feel the same about those. So that's another one that you'll see some images from. Also Seaside Holiday, some of the ephemera. I thought as Eliza went into different ports, her and her dad may have visited different restaurants or, maybe did a little sightseeing or things like that and ended up with, souvenirs from different places. So I thought that was fun. And then I also just kind of wanted to show you one of the Graphics Fairies printables. So these are the themed bundles, and actually I think this one is Sea Spray. So this is the individual images you get in the bundle, but then there's also a lot of printables that you can just print out ready to use for things. So this one is Altoid tin cards. So if you print this out, you can cut these out and they would fit on an Altoid tin, boy, I can't seem to say that today, ready to go. So they're already kind of collaged for you and put together. You just need to cut them out and use them. So I love that they have all these different kinds of printables. And I did use a bunch of the printables in my journal as well. So we'll talk about those as we go through my Eliza Patton journal. Okay, I just wanted to give you a little bit about the journal before we dive into it. It is about 5.5 inches wide, 8.5 inches tall. I have some lace here as my closure that just comes off. And then as I mentioned, I took an image from the Graphics Fairy and printed it out on canvas. And then I took that canvas and covered book boards for my covers here. And I love that the way that it feels, the texture that this canvas gives, especially in contrast to this fabric, the spine fabric on here. So that's kind of the book itself. The book plate here does have a removable label. So this is on, the label I made is on old ledger paper. So you could, either keep that, you could print on the other side, you could put in your own label there. I believe that Eliza used this diary to keep track of all her adventures and notes and different things she found on all her trips with her dad on the ship. Okay, so let's dive into this journal here. So I tried to think of the different things that Eliza might want in her journal, and I imagine that she would be practicing some crochet. So there is a little piece of her crochet there. She has a button card with some vintage buttons on here because I am sure during those trips she needs to be mending her clothes and things like that. So I've added that there. I've added some tickets, a little advertisement there, and then I have a little tag that I made with a salt mackerel advertisement that I thought was fun. And then one of the images from the printables there of a little mermaid sitting on a rock. And then there's also a map in the back of this big pocket here. So this is like a layered pocket where you can put things in the back portion of the pocket as well as in the front portion of the pocket there. And then I did print some of the images onto an old ledger that I had, and I absolutely love how they turned out. So you'll see those throughout. But this is the old ledger that I have with nothing on it there. I think the handwriting is just beautiful. There is some piano paper in here because you know, her father made her practice the piano every day on the ship, so she has her she has her practice papers there. There are some old book pages with ships on them, and then I also added some of these quotes that are related to the sea. That was another printable by the Graphics Fairy, and I just cut out each of the quotes and added them sporadically throughout the journal there. I used some of the images in full pages to make journal pages with as well. So this is one of the images. You'll see another image on the other, you know, when I get back to this other page there. And I did print some of the compass images as background pages for the journal pages as well. There's a little tag here with this woman on a shell and some little writing fluid advertisement, since you know that Eliza will need some writing fluid as she uses her journal. And then in this little envelope, I have two little specimens of some sea creatures there. Whoops, and I stamped on the back there, but she's always interested in new creatures, and so keeping her little specimens close by so that she can take a look at those when she would like to. I added some lace to the different pages. This is a big sea creature that I added to a full page so I could print that out. I imagined that she was probably told lots of different stories from the crew members and things like that about sea monsters, so I included this in her journal as well. And this is one of the full pages that was a printable from the Graphics Fairy as a journal page itself. So this made it very easy to come up with pages in my signature because they were all kind of ready to go for me. And then some more old ledger paper. And here is a little altered paper clip with a wholesale fish dealer's invoice here. So I imagine she may have come across that when they were maybe selling some of their fish, their catch from being out. And this is the other side of that page there with another graphic from the Graphics Fairy. You can also see I used some washi tape throughout. The Graphics Fairy has a printable of washi tape that I just printed on clear sticker paper and then just kind of tore it off and put it in different spots on the journal. And she has a little preserved mackerel label here, as well as this is a little flip I made for the top of the page by cutting out one of the bookmarks that was a printable for the Graphics Fairy. So I thought this was really fun to have on the page, and whoops, I didn't even do it right there. So I put it over top of the page so that each side then could become a little tuck spot if you wanted it to be. See if I can get this itty bitty paper clip back on. There we go. And then you can just tuck things right in there and it holds them there for you. Some more napkin decoupage. And this little tuck spot, I have an old recipe for a cake. And then this is a newspaper article for cleaning shabby clothes. So you can imagine that Eliza probably had some dirty clothes on that ship. And so she used this little article to help her keep her clothes clean. And this is from 1927. And then this is more of that ledger paper that I printed on. This is another one of the printables for the journal pages. And I just added some background page to that. And then I created some labels using some of the blank labels that the Graphics Fairy has and put some of the sort of nautical images on them. And I added this little fabric piece in here and made this little pocket with a note card right in there. And some fun little fabric kind of sticking out of the side and another sea monster. And then this is just a magazine page that has some advertisements on it. some old wallpaper that I thought the colors matched nicely. And now here is actually a printable, this is a bookmark printable from the Graphics Fairy, and I just cut it out, and instead of using it as a bookmark, I decided to use it as a belly band. So I just added some little flips on the end so that it has a belly band, and then I used this sea urchin image here to create a little notebook. So this might be a little notebook that Eliza takes with her when she is they're in port and they're out, just to, you know, keep her notes in and things like that. But it fits right there in the belly band. And then this is a Down by the Sea music paper cover. So I imagine that this might be one of the songs that she was learning on the piano, with more piano pages there. And this tuck spot has a little cabinet card in it of what I'm imagining either her friends, maybe her brother and sister, could be her cousins, but she likes to keep pictures of people that she knows with her since she's not around them all the time. And then there's some music papers, some blank papers to journal on. Another quote here from that printable. I added some the compass image on this page here. And then this is another one that was created by the Graphics Fairy, sort of the full journal page. So I just needed to print it out to add it to my journal. But I do love the way it's all layered up here and ready to go. And then I have this fun Franken page here because out at sea, it's probably pretty hard to, you know, come across good paper. So Eliza just started taping things together so that she would have additional pages in her journal. And then here's a little tuck spot here with a souvenir little note card. And this was also one of the printables. There were several different shapes that had different patterns on them, and I think they were really fun to use. And then a little map here. I made a little pocket on the other side of that fabric page that has a postcard in it in case Eliza wanted to write to a friend. And then another label there. And then this is an old magazine paper here that has some advertisements on that I thought were fun. So Sakura Japanese meat, or Japanese crab meat, I should say. And then I thought this lobster was fun too, that you can enjoy delicious lobster. So here's a whole big page for advertisements there. And then in the last signature, this has 3 signatures. There is another cabinet card. This is an image from the Graphics Fairy, and I would imagine that this maybe is Eliza's mother that she keeps with her because her mom can't always be on every trip with them. And then I did make a postcard from these little bathing beauties here that I thought would make a fun pocket for that. And this is some more printing on that ledger paper. And then here is this is actually deli paper that I printed on, and I printed some of the images right onto the deli paper, and I love how this is see-through, and these images came out so nice and crisp there. I thought the sound is always fun to have some kind of different paper in there as well. And then in this little spot here, we have another little postcard with a whale on it, since Eliza loves whales. And then this is an entry from the captain's log that she took from her dad. And she wants to be a merchant ship captain herself. So she's trying to learn as much as she can about it. And so she stole one of her dad's ledger entries there. All right, so we'll put that back on there. Another quote here. Another picture from a boat book that I have. And then here, this paper clip this is just a flap, but I made it into kind of a little pocket with this paper clip here. And I have a little pocket with a tag in it. And this has some napkin decoupage on the back. And then another one of those patterned designs there, the shell. And this is a vintage postcard from Nyhaven, Copenhagen, that I thought was fun to kind of include in there. And then here's some of those sea green background pages I was talking about that I had used. Some more old wallpaper. And then I have another layered pocket here that has some interesting little pieces of ephemera that Eliza has kept. This is a label from some Alaskan salmon that she had on board. And this is when her father and her were at a port, they took a train, and so there's some train information on here, as well as a menu for when they were on the train. And this is a little card of how to make knots. She is trying to get some of the crew members to teach her how to make all the different ship knots so that she knows how to do that. Some more ledger paper here. And I have, I created a little tuck spot with this shell that I cut out from one of the images. And we have another, just a little note card there to write on, as well as an advertisement for some embroidery things, a catalog book and a transfer design embroidery book, because Eliza wants to learn how to embroider as well. This girl wants to do everything. There's another little note card here, and this is a whale design with another one of the quotes on it. Some more lace and some more old wallpaper with some of the scallops here. And here is another little tag that we have for Gorton's ready to fry codfish cakes. I thought that was fun. And I added some matching fabric onto this tag. And then another little envelope that has a specimen in it here. So this was another one that Eliza put together because she is very interested in the different types of shells that she finds. So we'll put that back on here. And then we have some more blank ledger paper here that you could just use to journal on. Some more washi tape. Here's the other side of that deli paper that I love, and I love the way you can see through that. And then here is another ledger paper that I printed some of the Graphics Fairy images on, and I love the way they turned out as well. And then in the back of the journal, there's just a little tuck spot here, a little pocket that you can slide some ephemera into. There's another little souvenir from when her dad and her were in port, and another postcard from Nijhaven, Copenhagen. So those are right in the back there. And then on the back of the journal, there is a little label that maybe was, this was a, you know, this diary was a gift to her, and this maybe is the label that had a little note on it for her. And there is the Eliza Patton journal. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, friends. I will be putting this journal up for sale in my Etsy shop. If you're interested, the link is down below for you to check that out. I will also be putting the link to the premium membership for Graphics Fairy if you're interested in having access to some of these wonderful graphics to make your own journals in as well. So thank you so much, friends. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.